there are all these policies that are well-intentioned, but the implementation of the policy can be very cumbersome.
This employee was like not only not responding to me, but like suddenly like making phone calls and emails to Ministry of Manpower to complain about things that were completely without merit, right? And I totally can empathize with that kind of stress that you can feel when you add a layer of financial insecurity to it also.
I think also just shitting on MOM and saying, how fuck can they let this happen? I think at this point, it's hard to say how culpable they are. Okay, we know a lot of our listeners do cool stuff for work. And if your work has anything to do with getting people to click, buy, and repeat, I have something you'll want to hear. There is a huge event happening on 8th and 9th October at MBS. It's free for all tech professionals and you need to be there. Because eCommerce Expo Asia and DMEXCO Asia are coming together to create the region's most powerful platform for digital commerce, marketing, and tech. It'll cover all there is to know about e-commerce, customer experience, payments, logistics, marketing technology, performance, content, all under one roof. So whether you're trying to optimize checkout, rethink your loyalty journey, or figure out which online tools are legit, you'll find something here that will help. And most importantly, the good thing about a live event is that you can find people who will be able to help. That's also where the real magic is, the people attending. Aside from ourselves, there'll be retailers, marketers, digital leads, tech founders, and so on. It's like Singles Inferno, but for e-commerce. If you need further convincing, this event is one of the 6 shows under Tech Week Singapore, which recently took home the large trade show of the year at the Singapore MICE Awards 2025. So remember, this event is called eCommerce Expo DMEXCO Asia, and it's happening on October 8th and 9th on its own dedicated floor at MBS, which means a more premium vibe and a super curated, super focused audience. Once again, registration is free for all tech professionals. Just click on the link in the show notes to grab your pass. And now, on to the podcast. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Yala, your thrice weekly podcast where we talk about the hottest news with a touch of what, Terrence?
Good old humor.
Good old humor, man.
Yeah.
How's the week been, man?
It was good, man. I think this week there were a lot of interesting experiences that we had, right? I mean, talking to Donald Low in the last episode was one of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, in general, like this past week, we've been doing a lot of interesting things. We got interviewed by a regional Asian newspaper.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Was it newspaper? Yeah, Asian newspaper.
Online publication.
Yeah, they'll see it soon. Everyone
but well-known.
Well-known Asian newspaper. So
with a photo shoot?
With a photo shoot that was pretty interesting. We went out and about and did a photo shoot as well. And then, we also launched season 2 of Tell You First, our MediaCorp podcast series that we were so proud of, like season 1, and we were really crossing our fingers that we could get season 2 greenlit.
Yeah. And it's the first show we've ever made that has gotten a season 2.
Yeah, and the network didn't just liquidate or just disappear, right? Yeah, also this celebration in
it's
itself.
A huge achievement, man.
Yeah.
It's going to be 40 episodes.
Yes, 40 episodes.
So literally for the next 40 weeks, you're going to have a new episode of Tell You First every week.
And you'll even get some episodes on video, selected episodes on video. Yeah, specifically the ones with guests, right? Because I think actually every time a guest comes on is really quite interesting, right? And I think we've recorded one episode with a guest and it was quite mind-blowing, right? The things we discovered. Yeah.
So, I mean, as the person leading the charge for Tell You First for us, like what's different about this season?
What's different about this season?
I think, aside from the videos, full videos.
I think we realized what people really loved, and we got a lot of feedback about that. What people really loved is how whenever we leaned into Singapore history, right? And we brought up all the little things that even people who live here, expats who've lived here for very long, they never knew about Singapore, even though they would pass by this place every day,
Yeah.
So they really told us they really learned so much about Singapore and love it so much. So we're really leaning into the Singapore aspects of things for this season, I'll tell you first. And we also, we'll go to a bit spicier areas as well, right? I think you've done an episode that is quite spicy.
I did?
Yeah.
Which one?
About something that's banned in Singapore, right?
Oh, yes.
Yes. So it's a spicy episode. So those
correct.
I think last season we maybe wouldn't dare to take the risks with those kinds of things, but this season we decided, let's go there, man.
Yeah, and also like personal stories, like stories of personalities who have been influential for better or worse on Singapore's history, which is not something we did last season.
Correct. Yeah, that's
so
right.
exciting. The link is in the show notes. The first episode is out.
It's on Spotify, yes.
Yeah, so for the next 39 weeks, you'll have a new episode every week.
Every Tuesday, yeah. So make sure to go out there and leave a comment. If you liked it, and of course share it with people as well. Share it on social media, because the videos, they'll come out, but I think the audio episodes are the ones where the magic really happens. A lot of interesting nuggets, right?
Yeah. And I mean, another thing we did this week was our first ever official Reddit AMA.
Oh yes, correct. I forgot.
And I mean, even though the AMA is done, we still have a few unanswered questions, which I mean, we are still going back to answer, lah.
Yeah.
And I mean, there are almost 200 comments. Right now.
How does it feel, being part of something that luminaries like Bill Gates,
Elon Musk,
Keanu Reeves, they all have done. And then now you have a chance to officially hold up the sign, and after that sit there and just answer questions.
Yeah, I mean, quite fun. Quite fun. Because, I mean, in some way, like, our Reddit community is one of our favorite communities. And now to get recognition from Reddit themselves, and Reddit feels like a tech platform that hasn't gone down an annoying route yet. I don't know whether they will, but with Meta and I mean Facebook and Instagram, there's always a bit of a bit soulless, but Reddit feels like there's something special there. And this is officially done with Reddit. So it's nice. And our Reddit community is now almost 7,400 or 7,500 followers, which is great.
And I'm so glad that your speech to text AI program that you're trying to use for the Reddit AMA didn't work. Because it was like so, I was trying to concentrate on us replying to questions, and then next to me you were like yakking and you're like commenting, and your free flow of thoughts are just coming out. I was like, oh my god, I'm getting so distracted. Then I realized people, that's why people wear earphones or headphones in the workplace.
I did give you a heads up that I'll be using it, okay? And I mean, why I stopped using it was because it felt like after I just ramble on and get that, there will need to be tweaks and all that. And I also didn't want the answers to be like that long, because there's a lot to answer.
Correct.
So I type. But I did give you a heads up, okay?
It's just that, in the office, that very overbearing, like, wow, someone just keeps yakking.
I did give you a heads up. Like, you seem okay with it. All these internal things, you never bring it up, so suck it up, Terrence.
Initially I was okay. Then until I realized what it meant is that you'd be talking in my ears.
Yeah, but I think our whole team felt the same thing that you did feel. So after a while, I could feel the glaring eyes, so I was like, not the best.
10 points for self-awareness, Harish.
Of course, I'm a very self-aware person. But yeah, man.
Yeah, so a lot of interesting experiences this week.
Interesting experiences. And I mean, before we jump into the two topics, our usual spiel, if you like this podcast, please follow us on other social platforms. We've mentioned Reddit, but there's also Instagram and TikTok, and we are kind of trying to level up the content. And if you want to work with us,
email us at contact@ministryoffunny.com or check out ministryoffunny.com.
Cool.
Yes.
Okay, so I mean the first episode, very somber.
Bit Yeah.
And it is the recent case of the passing of a small business owner, small to medium enterprise business owner in Singapore by the name of Jane Lee. And it is it just feels like it's such a tangent to everything else that has been happening in Singapore lately, and a very sad tangent because the context is she put out 2 Facebook posts on July 18th, and the next day she was found deceased. And you read the Facebook post, it's heartbreaking, but it has also resulted in a lot of consequential follow-ups by the government and online communities. But how did you first hear about this case?
Yeah, when I think her obituary was being shared on various Facebook pages, I think one was specifically was Death Kopitiam. And then after that, I think the Hawkers United Facebook page as well. It just, at first reading it, then I was like, oh, okay. I mean, it's kind of sad. Yeah, I mean, it sounds like a very sad case. And then I think the part where it started to, feel very, very disturbing was reading her 2 Facebook posts. Her 2 final Facebook posts that she left behind, where she even addressed her family and some of her co-workers and all in the Facebook posts. But yeah, that's where, I mean, everything we've been discussing about F&B, retail, and the stressors on SMEs as well. All that seems to have culminated in something like this, which is in some way also rallying a lot of people to ask for answers, right?
Yeah.
From the MOM and as well as the people accused, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, to summarize the context, is basically, she owns a small business. I think they have 2 or 3 outlets. But the first post was basically talking about getting a fraudulent claim by one of her employees.
Yeah.
So who she says, or she hints that this employee was faking a workplace injury,
Yeah.
and asking for compensation for that. And it feels, according to her, it feels like it's part of a bigger scam network. And her business was targeted because of a gap in the insurance coverage. So the first post was about that. She talks about the case, about having video footage, and her experience dealing with a staff who she suspects is being like kind of fraudulent or just feigning a workplace injury.
Yeah.
So then, and that was on 18 July at 2:02 a.m. At 2:04 a.m., 2 minutes later, she put out another post tagging the Singapore Ministry of Manpower and Singapore Police Force Facebook pages, respectfully urging them to investigate this case thoroughly. She fears that she will not be the last victim, and that these sort of perpetrators who would target other unsuspecting small businesses. And then she goes on to write a message to her dear staff, apologizing for the difficult situation, that she's transferred money. She names them individually and feels like she had a close relationship with them. To her friends and fellow business owners, please help share this message to prevent similar incidents from happening to others. And the most heartbreaking thing was what you mentioned. To my beloved family and children, I'm truly sorry that I couldn't find the strength to face this battle on my own. I've written a personal letter that you'll find on my laptop.
Yeah.
So you read that, it just breaks your heart, understanding that she was writing this to her family. How dire must the situation have been?
Yeah.
And I mean, there's not too much technical details. There have been articles that have been written that shed light on what could have potentially been going on. But that's the summary of the post that kicked up a lot of conversation. Yeah. And I mean, of course, when you look online, there are a lot of personal accounts that have been shared about how small business owners have encountered certain similar situations in the past that was very taxing. And I mean, we can talk more about the details of what could be the reality of it.
Yeah. Yeah. Correct.
Yeah. And I mean, the MOM and Singapore Police Force have both come out. For MOM, they posted something on 21st July extending their deepest condolences. They have been looking into the alleged fraudulent work injury claim made by Jane Lee and her company. They were in communication with Jane Lee, and the investigations are already ongoing. And they reiterated that they will not hesitate to take parties found culpable of abusing the Work Injury Compensation Act to task.
Yep.
And then there was also a statement by the Minister of State, Dinesh, expressing condolences and reiterating the same thing, that they're investigating and they will take any perpetrators to task.
That's right.
So with all that context, I mean, like, what have you learned from doing research about the actual realities of the case?
I mean, just understanding the Workmen Injury Compensation Act, right? Basically, it's an act that allows manual laborers or even non-manual laborers earning below a certain salary to be able to very quickly seek compensation from insurers if they encounter an injury in the course of their work, right?
Yeah.
And it's meant to allow them to be able to make these claims without having to go through expensive or very long drawn-out lawsuits, right? So it's really meant to protect the workers in that case. And on the employer side, by right, what's supposed to happen is they're all supposed to, they're mandatory for them to get workmen injury compensation, right? Insurance to cover themselves in the event that these manual laborers get into these situations, right? So that's what I mean in terms of the WICA, the Workmen Injury Compensation Act, covers. But when going to the weeds of it, that's where I don't think there was enough information in her Facebook post or even in the Ministry of Manpower statement to really ascertain the allegations and whether it's true and all that as well, right?
Yeah.
But what do you learn about it when reading about this?
It is a bit confusing, but the biggest thing that I took away is that everything there is in black and white, but there is a big grey area. And I mean, having run our own business for quite a while, you do realize that sometimes very well-meaning policies can still have gaps.
Yeah.
And it feels like that is what may have caused the immense stress that she was under. Because just to build on certain other parts of the WICA, basically I think it's a no-fault compensation system. So for if not for this act, you will need to get lawyers to prove that, it's the employer's fault and not your fault. This one is almost like if you're getting less than a certain amount, there's no fault proof required.
Yeah.
And you can understand the intention to protect lower wage workers from having to bear legal costs and all.
Yeah.
And then, it compensates medical leave wages, medical expenses, permanent incapacity or death benefits. There is a claim limit, which is different from like an open case where you engage lawyers, which sometimes you want to get as much as you can.
Yeah.
There's a claim limit. There are filing deadlines and companies are mandated to get insurance, but if they don't get insurance, they can be susceptible to fines.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's no way to confirm this, but just based on certain things in a Facebook post, she said there is an apparent insurance gap within her company.
Yeah.
Because even the Ministry of Manpower post said they're working with the insurer. So then you think like, if she had insurance, what's the problem there?
Yeah.
But she admitted that there's an insurance gap.
Yeah.
So there are certain grey areas or certain potential gaps.
Yeah. And I think I was also a bit confused about the whole thing. But I think the more recent Straits Times article talking about the MOM's probe, right? Where they talk to other SME, F&B owners who say that, it's not even just about being insured, right? It's that a lot of SME bosses would need to actually not only get medical attention for the staff, but they also have to settle claims with insurers and then also keep the business, make sure the business continues running. But then at the same time, when let's say they go to the hospital, the employee, they need to sign apparently letters of guarantee in the hospital to say that they'll pay. And a lot of time the fees, the medical fees will have to be paid up front, right? Because they have to be covered. Then after that, then the insurer does its investigations and that might drag on for months, which puts a lot of stress on the employer also. So it could be that it could also be a speculation because I see some throwaway comments online here and there where people say, means that she never buy the insurance and now, she's complaining about that gap. But there could be a possibility that someone follows all the rules and everything to a T. But it's just purely the stress of having to deal with everything, right? The filings, the claims, the insurers, the investigation, all that. That actually is very stressful in itself, right?
Yeah.
And it puts a lot of stress on what's already a very stressful endeavor, running your own business and in F&B and all that.
Yeah, because at first my question was that, if she has insurance, insurance normally, especially for business, you want to, it feels like binary, you have or you don't have.
Yeah.
But then when I talk about my own insurance, right?
Yeah.
Because of some stupid ass medical condition, like my insurance, I have, it covers hospitalization,
Yeah.
right? But I remember when signing up the insurance, you can, if you want to pay higher, then you don't need to fork out upfront payment. But the insurance premiums, then I'm like, no hopefully I don't have any significant thing. So I chose the one where I have to pay upfront.
Yeah.
But I'm just thinking, if something terrible happens to me and I'm fully covered hospitalization and all that, because the premium is it's just stupid expensive. But I would have to pay upfront first.
Yeah, exactly.
And if there's something horrible that happens and the bill runs up to a significant amount, whether you have the liquid capital to pay is a whole different thing.
Yeah.
So on that note, I have insurance coverage, but I can still get fucked over. Then when you think about a business, it's true. There are all these policies that are well-intentioned, but the implementation of the policy can be very cumbersome.
Yeah, that's right.
And that's where you start to think, oh shit, it can be very taxing. And cash flow for a business, much less F&B, can be very challenging.
Yeah.
And if you don't have liquid cash to pay upfront, then you're screwed.
Yeah, and I think a lot of the tributes and or at least other people commiserating with Jane Lee on Facebook are fellow F&B business owners.
Yeah.
And a lot of them have also written about how, they, as fellow SME owners, there's a lot of these hidden stressors that people don't know about, right? They think small business means you deal with less issues than a big business and all, but actually it can be more stressful because you're just basically faced with not only having to run and keep the business alive, right? But when you have to deal with this yourself and you don't have like a legal team or HR team to help you deal with these, so it's I think that a lot of people also speculate, like, was this really the straw that broke the camel's back, and everything? We don't know that, right? Like there could be other things as well, but definitely didn't help in terms of like making someone feel less stressed about things.
Yeah, but then, so you think like MOM should be like told like, hey, you need to wake up lah. How can this kind of shit happen?
I mean, it's very public lah, right? Everyone's talking about it, and I think a lot of the comments as well. I mean, to be fair to the person who is being named and everything, like, right, the alleged employee and all. Right now, investigations are still ongoing, right? So a lot of people are already cursing and swearing at the fact, that also because they're they're foreigners, right?
And from India,
In India, so there's a lot of I would say quite racist, xenophobic comments also coming out. So there's just so much public interest in this. I don't see the MOM being able to not talk about this as directly as possible.
Yeah, and I mean, like just based on what we found online, there have been instances where foreign employees who abuse the system actually were punished. So in 2021, 2 foreign employees were sentenced to jail for making fraudulent claims under the same act and providing false information to an MOM investigation officer.
Yeah.
So, I mean, of course, in the broader picture, it really paints a very dire scenario for small business owners in Singapore. Because, like, I mean, yeah, of course, you see those stupid-ass comments saying, oh, but she never do insurance, it's her fault. But to think, what state must someone be to write a post to her family? She has 2 kids, no? To write that, like, I can't imagine what she must have been going through.
Yeah.
And I mean, for all the tributes that have come in, she seems like a wonderful person. So you see that, you're like, oh my God.
When you say wonderful, like, in what sense?
Like, I mean, a lot of people have said that she's a very kind individual from even employees, and even the guy who started the Hawker Tapao Facebook group. She was one of the earliest members. There was a Facebook group that came out during COVID, right?
Yeah.
And now has over 320,000 followers. According to him, she was always ever ready to try and help the scene. And you hear that, it just feels like, oh my God, how sad is this, man?
Yeah.
And whether it's a straw that broke the camel's back, I don't know, but in some way, life as an SME owner in Singapore, in F&B especially, is hard.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just one of those things that I think even ourselves running our own small business also, right? Not in the same capacity or the same degree, right? But there have been instances of people that we've hired to work for us, right? Have also like complained about stuff to MOM, right? And completely, I mean, in my opinion, obviously, I thought it was without merit, right? And a lot of times, the first phone call that comes from MOM, or at least from the TAFEP, right? Regardless of the merits of the case, it just makes you as a business owner feel damn kanchong.
Yeah.
And I felt damn kanchong. It's like, oh shit, and like shit's hit the fan, right? And later, after talking and figuring things out, actually, I mean, I think the people at TAFEP also realized that there really wasn't anything behind those complaints, right? And they just sort of like, okay, they tried to mediate from a distance between us and that ex-employee, right? But in that whole process, like, all the stress was like, essentially, I was caught off guard by the stress of like getting the phone call and things like that, right? And realizing, hey, this employee was like not only not responding to me, but like suddenly like making phone calls and emails to Ministry of Manpower to complain about things that were completely without merit, right?
Yeah.
And I had to suddenly had to put myself out there and defend myself and pull up like, leave statements and stuff like that, and emails and messages and screenshots and all, like as if I was like in a legal case, right?
Yeah.
But it was just like completely unnecessary, and I see why. And I totally can empathize with that kind of stress that you can feel when you add a layer of financial insecurity to it also, right?
Yeah,
I doubled, right?
And I remember talking with you back then, like you were super stressed and like angry and like it really adds another complexity to running a business.
Yeah.
And I mean, at the end of the day, we must stress that there was really no merit to the
No,
case.
nothing. Yeah, it was thrown out. Not say thrown out, but they just said, we acted completely according to what we needed to do, and what we were supposed to do.
Yeah. So I mean, it just highlights because as much as people can blame MOM, this is the problem, I guess, with laws and regulations. There will always be people who will find loopholes and scams. So that's why I think also just shitting on MOM and saying how fuck can they let this happen, I think at this point it's hard to say how culpable they are. The fact is that running a business in Singapore is getting increasingly harder.
Yeah.
F&B or any retail outlet even more. And unfortunately these sort of things happen, but I hope it just brings more light to the difficulty in running a business in Singapore.
Yeah. I mean, I see some people calling online saying that there should be specific government departments that are tasked to help SMEs and nothing more with these issues, right? Because I think that there are these organizations that promote business for SMEs or promote upskilling for SMEs and things like that. But a lot of times legal and legal issues are really just the cost of hiring a lawyer is eats into a month's revenue for SMEs, and we just can't afford that kind of time and place.
I mean, that's true because, again, to a very different degree, when we were going through the whole liquidation shit, I think even finding a lawyer who deals in IP, we had to reach out to our own personal connections who were okay to do it pro bono. I remember, I think there was one contact, was it the Law Society or something like that?
Pro bono lawyers.
Pro bono lawyer, but it wasn't a government resource. I don't think so. And if you Google just some sort of body where you can go to with problems, because I think there's a lot of potential avenues for help out there, or grants, especially for expansion. But sometimes as a business owner, even Googling all that, sometimes the details are so complicated. Yeah, it feels like, if only there's a place where you go and you can just say, I don't know what the hell to do.
Yeah.
I don't know whether there is. But I remember when we were looking for help with that whole liquidation case, it was damn hard and we looked everywhere.
Yeah. And we even had to hire lawyers from overseas to help us handle the liquidation in Mauritius and all that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we were completely clueless, and it was like COVID and we didn't know anything, right?
Yeah.
But it was not like we could sink more money into lawyers' fees to get the help that we needed, right?
And I mean, for context, we were owed 205,000.
Yeah.
We had to pay 1,400 US, was it?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
To notarize a document that said we were owed 205,000.
Yeah, correct.
And it just feels like, what the hell is this? So I mean, this is tragic, It's tragic.
Right. I mean, I'm hoping that it does spur some action, in those areas that we talked about.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. But thoughts go out to the family of Jane Lee.
Condolences to them, and hope they're coping, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, chala.
But there's another story that I think also has sparked quite a lot of debate as well, especially amongst the residents in is it in Geylang Serai, right? Yeah. And what is this issue?
It is
Geylang East, sorry.
Geylang East. So I mean, it was something that was announced last week or the week before, that Geylang East Public Library is going to be relocated to the soon to be refurbished Tanjung Katong complex. So it's I think it was announced maybe even more than a month ago, because shortly after that there was a petition that was started to push for the relocation to not happen.
Yeah.
And the claims are that the National Library Board failed to consult the community first, and they feel that it's such a nostalgic place that's been there for years. To relocate it within a mixed use development is very sad. And even MP Tin Pei Ling on 2nd July posted on her Facebook page explaining that, she feels the same sentiments as the residents. She talked about the petition. She said that, residents said for 37 years, it has provided a quiet space for generations of students, families, and seniors.
Yeah.
And just talked about how there was a public consultation that was done on 25th June. So this announcement probably happened a while ago. And she shared the reasons that NLB gave for the relocation.
Yeah.
So, three main reasons. First one is that the Geylang East Public Library occupies a building that's old, more than 30 years, seen a decline in visitorship and loans.
Yeah.
So comparatively lower to other public libraries. So moving it to a complex that is publicly funded with a public mission, allows the library to reach more people.
Yeah.
From NLB's past experiences, a library being in a shopping mall actually brings a lot more visitorship. And apparently that's part of the library of the future master plan.
Yeah.
Which is to move standalone libraries to shopping malls when opportunities come about. And then the third reason is they had considered alternative approaches of retaining the library at its current location, but it wasn't cost effective. So, in some way, her shedding light on the reasons to do so.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like it makes people go like, oh, okay, that makes sense. And then there's been more discussions about, okay, what is the future of Singapore libraries?
Correct.
Yeah, so, for context, what is your relationship with Singapore libraries?
For me, actually more in recent years, right? I've come to really appreciate our library system in Singapore. And not surprisingly, that coincides with becoming a dad. Where bringing a kid to a library is like bringing a kid to an intellectual candy shop, right? And it's amazing. And then now I've discovered the love of borrowing ebooks from the NLB app, which is amazing also. And don't take our Singaporeans' word for it. Like foreigners also who use our library, they think it's like bloody amazing. You know? And I didn't know this, but actually foreigners can pay to access our library services.
Oh, is it?
That's how they get a library card, and that's how they get access to borrow everything. So they happily pay it because they say it's like world class, if not better. It's the best. And really, like, I've read so much more in the last 6 months after getting an ebook reader compared to I have like in years, I think. And also because the library makes it so seamless and easy.
Yeah.
So, I go to a couple of like libraries more regularly, like the Queenstown one. Very, very nostalgic, very charming standalone building. The one in town also, I drop by once in a while.
And the Bras Basah one?
No. In the Bras Basah one, yes. But the one's a lot of times more for events and stuff. But the one at Orchard, last time when, I think now it's under renovation or something, but when it was in Orchard, actually, it was a nice place to just drop in, like, when you're waiting for someone and they're late, and then you can just drop in and chill out. And the the interior design is pretty interesting in that library as well. Yeah. So, a lot of different styles of libraries that I frequent, and all of them have been pretty amazing.
Yeah. But how you feel about this whole approach? Because there is a website, NLB 30, the Lab 25, Libraries and Archives Blueprint 2025, a 5-year plan reimagining the future of libraries and archives.
Yeah.
And few main pillars, a learning marketplace.
Yeah.
Where it's all digital services and all that, informed citizenry, Singapore storytellers, and it being an equalizer. So those are the four main pillars.
But how about you? Like, what's your relationship with the library?
Same thing. I think like my reading habit is slowly growing over the past few years. When I was young, Tampines Library was nearby. I went there, I think, I don't know, I remember going there, but to borrow books and all. But I never frequented it as much as I wish I did. But it was always the library building.
Yeah.
The library building, and it was a landmark. It was a place to chill out. It was a place to just hang out with friends. And I remember playing catching in the library also, which is kind of fun.
Yes, yeah.
Then over the years, once in a while I pop by Orchard Library. If I need to work in town and do work on my laptop and don't want to pay like money to buy a cappuccino or something be at a cafe.
Yeah.
And there is that added convenience. So when I read this, and when I read the CNA commentary talking about the future of libraries, it's one more example of this is the reality of Singapore.
Yeah.
These standalone buildings, a lot of which are very nostalgic, very retro, very cool, I guess it just doesn't fit in a place like Singapore.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, right? Like, remember during the GE, we had a chance to go around Singapore, and I think one of the cooler venues that we actually went to was our Tampines Hub, right? OTH. And I think we walked around, we saw...
Oh, the library is there.
The library is there, yeah.
Also, the Tampines library I grew up with is no longer...
I guess not, right?
Oh, shit. Yeah. Okay, go on.
But yeah, those concepts of like everything being in a hub, right? Whether it's library, I think there was a stadium. There was a stadium there also, right? People playing football there. There were movie screenings. There were restaurants, everything. You mean that doesn't feel like community to you? Like, does it feel like community?
I think it's just being stuck in the past, the nostalgia of the past. Because the library building, it was reopened in 2017 at Tampines Hub. Because I don't live in Tampines anymore. But from 1994 to 2017, it was a standalone building, quite retro. So it's just me being an old uncle, being nostalgic about the past.
Yeah.
Which you feel like, oh, it's so cool. There's a building dedicated to intelligence and stories, Right now it's part of a mall.
Yeah.
So functionally, it makes sense to be in a mall.
Yeah.
Like Orchard Library, the Somerset MRT is just there.
Yeah.
Tampines Hub, the Tampines MRT is just opposite. So it makes sense.
Yeah. And it's good because young kids, I think there'll be increased access to the library, right?
Yeah.
Especially for kids who just loiter around malls and like after drinking chagi and all that.
Yeah.
Then they'll just go hang out in the library for a while, like hopefully.
Yeah.
So. But our Tampines Hub is not a mall, right? It's a hub, Harish.
But
it's a hub.
It's like everything you want in a mall.
Yeah.
Like everything. Like from the library, you can literally watch a full-size football pitch and a game happening.
Correct. I think that's what blew my mind.
Which is mind-blowing. It's mind-blowing.
You get a subway downstairs, you walk past a bunch of people watching Men in Black on a giant movie screen.
Yeah.
And you go upstairs and suddenly you're watching like a hockey match in the middle of a giant pitch, right?
Football
match. Football match, okay.
Yeah.
And then you turn around and the library is like another floor up.
Then if you want to get your kopi, you go down to the hawker center now.
Downstairs. Yeah, literally a lot of the hawker centers, like in Punggol now, is in the hub itself, like one Punggol. Yeah.
So functionally, it makes sense.
Yeah.
It is the epitome of efficiency.
Yeah.
It's just not as romantic, lah. But that is the thing about the reality, I think, that we all need to accept.
Yeah.
There's romanticism, but then there's this new way of let's pound for pound, inch for inch, per square foot, let's maximize the shit out of it.
Yeah. Last week it was golf players making a sacrifice. This week it's all the library goers.
But I'm not even a library goer. I'm just an uncle that's complaining.
Yeah.
I mean, for you, is there a bit of you who's like, or you're like, oh, this is the way to go, man?
No, I mean, I think if the building has significant architectural value, the Queenstown Library has been gazetted, right, as a conservation building, I think since 2013. So now it's undergoing a revamp for a couple of years, but I would imagine that most of the facade and will be kept, right, intact, right? So in that sense, I think if there's architectural value, that is definitely worth keeping, but actually, I see a lot of benefits for putting the library within a place with increased footfall, not only for the benefit of the people, who want to go to the library, but also just for the library itself. Just the truth is, if you put it at a place where everyone is walking past and hanging out, more people will be inclined to go and read books and actually see physical books and do what we used to do, which is just walk past something and then see, oh, this cover looks interesting, let me try reading it. And then it blows your mind when you realize, hey, suddenly I'm reading chick literature and I love it, It opens your minds to different possibilities.
Yeah. And I mean, I always enjoyed, even when I was young, going to popular bookstore.
Yeah.
If you're at a mall, you walk into popular bookstore.
Yeah.
So the library, I think it's a great addition. But there's no part of you that feels like, what are we becoming? Or you're like, just shut up, this is the future.
I mean, it's really been happening everywhere, Holland V, Walla Walla, golf courses.
I'm asking you what you feel, Terence. Are you dead inside already?
Maybe I'm selfish because Queenstown got conserved, right? The one that I frequented more. So to me, it was like, oh, okay, they want conserve, okay, what's the big deal? But I'm sure there are
NIMBY
people.
you NIMBY all the way.
I'm sure there are people who feel bad that other buildings have not been conserved.
But then there are so many pros to it. Like what you say is more accessible.
Yeah.
If like when my kid grows up, if she's going to a mall, of course I would say, hey, if you waiting for friends, go to the library.
Yeah.
You can actually use the books. You go to a popular bookstore. I mean, there's always this feeling if you're reading and all, you know that they're like, hey, don't touch the new book.
Exactly.
But library is there.
Yeah, you just take and you just read, then you just throw it somewhere. I mean, throw it in the box, right? Yeah.
And then if it's Instagrammable and all, it looks cool.
Okay. Maybe another reason why maybe I'm not feeling as much of it as you are is in the past week I've been hanging around a lot of young people lately, right? For various reasons. Nothing like Epsteinish, but like really like legit, like, we were talking at I think JC, right? We were hosting some kids for a learning journey as well.
You went to a TikTok event.
I went to a TikTok event. I mean, I don't really count, but I'm talking about kids like in school, right? And I realized a lot of these things that we, find very, wow, this is what Singapore is, the essence of it. You tell them about it, then they're like, huh? What are you talking about? It doesn't mean anything to me at all.
You mean I have to walk somewhere else to borrow books after I get my chuggy?
When I can just read it on my phone and all. But so to me, it's like, they are the future, right? They are the future, and our landscape needs to change to better suit their needs, rather than your own needs of you cling on to a place where you can play catching. Who plays catching anymore, Harish? Who plays catching? You tell me.
Who plays catching? Nobody plays catching. Nobody plays catching.
Yeah. So to me, it was like, I feel like it's inevitable that we have to free up these resources for them.
Yeah, so it's inevitable in Singapore.
Correct.
And that is the reality of Singapore.
Yeah.
And I think it's still a little tough to stomach when you see like, oh shit, the master plan. I mean, they don't say malls, but they say they want to relocate libraries to hubs and nodes.
Yeah.
Which is malls.
Yeah.
So it feels like, it's just, like, just everything just as efficient as possible. Which, I mean, it is the way to go. I won't deny that. Yeah. It just feels like... But that kind of feeling. Every few episodes is a bit like...
Yeah. But the good thing is that these buildings can be used for other purposes, like, I don't know, like sports halls or something like that.
If they are repurposed.
If they are repurposed,
yeah. I don't know what the old Tampines Library building is now.
Yeah. Terminal 6 or something.
If it becomes a condo, then I'll be like, yo, man, what the hell?
But
so that's the reality.
It is the reality.
It is the reality.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm still glad there was a petition that was started. And I mean, to Tin Pei Ling's credit, I thought her post was quite empathetic.
Correct.
While laying out the reasons for the decision.
And it's still, I think, ongoing. That is an ongoing discussion, right? NLB has noted their concerns and they're looking for ways to provide access to library services and content, and will continue to engage and work with the community, right?
Yeah.
So I think the good thing is that these people who really wanted to save Geylang East Public Library came together and had this. And at least, they got their grievances heard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. What is your One Shiok Thing? One Shiok Comment.
One Shiok Comment. I mean, I think it was really cool that on our Reddit, someone saw that we had started releasing episodes of Tell You First already, without us even announcing it, right? And put it up there on our subreddit to let people know. But yeah, so I think I just want to give that shout out to Weekday Grub, right? Who just said new season, and I can only imagine like maybe it popped up on the Spotify newsfeed or something, right? So yeah, so shout out to the community for noticing something that we didn't even like announce fully yet. And hopefully anybody who's new to the Reddit or Yalabat community does check out Tell You First, because it really is something that we're all really proud of.
Yeah. The link is in the show notes.
Yes.
The next one is a comment on Reddit for the recent episode with Donald Lowe. I mean, thankfully he's been getting a lot of views. Like, I think like I really enjoyed the podcast. It's like an economics lesson, like a mini lesson.
Yeah.
And there was a comment. I mean, which in part way I disagree, but I appreciate just the thought of it is by aggressive win6361 on Reddit. I mean, they were quite glowing about Donald Lo's approach to the podcast and all, but they also did a comparison with Sunny Liu and just contrasted the styles at which they criticize the government. But I don't agree with how they labeled Sunny Liu as a opportunistic troll.
Yeah.
But it just I think the positive sides of what they enjoyed about Donald Lo was quite nice, that he was in the civil service, and he was quite open in the past about how he struggled with leaving, but also the way he criticized Lee Hsien Loong and Jeffrey Xiao and all was anchored in principles of philosophy and economics which I think is what I took away from it
Yeah.
It's like, oh shit, it's not just about arguing with policy through feelings and all. It's actually anchored in something more tangible.
Yeah.
So I thought that was a nice comment. I mean, there are a lot of nice comments on YouTube also.
Yeah. A friend asked me recently, hey, I haven't heard Yalabat in a while. What's a must-listen episode? You have to. I would say this joins the ranks as one of those must-listen episodes. Episode with Donald Lo.
Yeah, Donald was solid. I mean, some people saying he should join as a third co-host already, but I think every time he's back in Singapore, we'll try and get him on.
Because you can use economics to answer a lot of different questions, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I mean, cool. And what about your One Shiok Thing, man?
My One Shiok Thing is something that I don't know why I just randomly just watched it, but it was David Guetta answers DJ questions. It was a video by Wired magazine, and it's under their tech support segment where they get experts to talk about to answer basic questions about their craft, right? So this one is pretty interesting because David Guetta is someone everyone. I mean, he's kind of like a household. Would you say household name? Yeah. At one point, everyone.
At one point,
everyone knew the Titanium song and a lot of other tracks that he was doing, right? And he was the king of the dance floor and all. So he's a bit older now. A couple of social media gaffes in recent years. I think when the whole George Floyd thing happened, and then he dedicated his set to George Floyd or something, and then people laugh David Guetta solves racism by DJing or something. So, but I've never actually heard him talk about DJing before, right? And this one, I don't know, maybe it's just because he's an older dude and everything, but he just comes across as this DJing uncle who just is just a bit cynical about DJing and just talks about things like how his sleep pattern is ruined and kind of a lot of the bullshit things that DJs do while mixing and all that. And he's just so open about it. So it's just actually a really funny video and interesting video also because he gives as best as he can a 101 on what beat matching is and stuff like that. Very basic stuff in DJing.
And also why their hands always...
The big question is why the DJs always pretend or why do they seem like the knobs are always hot when they're touching it. And if those who are not watching on video, is when you flick your hand away from the knob, pretending it's ow, 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 it's hot. So it's damn funny. So one comment was saying I was not prepared for how friendly, real, authentic, humble, down to earth, super wholesome David Guetta is. Yeah, so it really was the feeling I got from watching this also.
At one point, he really was at the top of the world.
Yeah. I mean, Titanium, kids were singing Titanium and all that as well, right? Yeah.
Oh, David Guetta. Cool. My One Shiok Thing concerns someone from that era also. It's a One Shiok Thing amidst a very gloomy context. You heard that the Stephen Colbert, The Late Show, is being cancelled. Yeah, so when I first saw the videos, I was like, what the hell are they talking about? But literally, on July 17, CBS announced that The Late Show with Stephen Colbert will end in May 2026 when his contract expires, and the whole franchise will be cancelled.
Yeah.
33 years. And there were 22 seasons with David Letterman, which I think a lot of people grew up with.
Yeah.
I think a lot of current Late Show hosts all grew up with it, with him, and 10 seasons with Stephen Colbert. So it's damn sad. It's amidst, more talk of the decline of the late night TV. But the One Shiok Thing is I think it was on his show or even on the other late show hosts, they've all been very united in condemning the move. Which is Jon Stewart, John Oliver, Jimmy Kimmel, Jimmy Fallon, and a few other people in late night show. They all came together. They went to attend the show.
Yeah.
They've been quite unequivocal about how shit the decision is, and it was just, of course, it's like a bunch of old men. But it just felt like, in those moments, you're like, it's nice because they're all in some way in competition, but they're all very good friends also lah. But it's one Shiok thing amidst a very sad reality lah.
I think there was a tribute or something, a tribute song to it that Weird Al Yankovic.
Yeah, and the guy who came up with Hamilton, what's his name?
Lin-Manuel
Miranda.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah lah. But I mean, again, it shows how polarizing the US is because Trump, I think he tweeted that, he's so happy that Kobe is like
Jimmy Kimmel's next, right?
Jimmy Fallon made fun that he's next.
Yeah.
And I mean, CBS said it's a purely financial decision, but Stephen Colbert's, apparently he's number one in the ratings, for Late Show.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of his show, to be honest.
Yeah.
But it just, So overall, this sounds like not a One Shiok thing at all. But it was just seeing those comedians, a lot of whom I respect and admire, coming together. So late night TV, man.
Have to let it go, Harish. Like, just like your...
I'm just stuck in the past. I'm just stuck in the past.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Cool.
That's our episode for today. Remember, if you enjoyed it, and it would be great if you could share it with at least one person who has not heard of us, and follow us on social media because we are putting out a lot more content there.
Yes. And if you want to work with us, check out, email us at contact@ministryoffunny.com or just go to ministryoffunny.com and contact us there.
Sweet. Thanks for listening, everybody, and we'll talk to y'all soon.